Imagine you are a director and you have a dream. You spend 30 years chasing it. You lose your cast twice, you lose your money multiple times, a flood destroys your set, a military jet ruins your audio, your lead actor's spine literally gives out, a producer tries to sue you the night before your premiere, and then, while that lawsuit is happening, you have a goddamn stroke. This is not a joke, it's the actual story of Terry Gilliam trying to make The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Production hell is an understatement. This is a 30-year sentence for a crime nobody committed. Welcome to
The Curse
of The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Terry Gilliam. For those of you who don't know, he is the guy who made Brazil, 12 Monkeys, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and also those weird animations in Monty Python. He's a visionary. He is also apparently cursed. Way back in 1989, Gilliam got obsessed with Don Quixote. You know the story. Delusional old man thinks he's a knight, charges at windmills. Very funny. Also a little heartbreaking. And Gilliam thought that this is his movie, the one he was born to make. By 1997, he's telling Neon magazine that Don Quixote is one of the 10 movies they won't let me make. He's frustrated. He's already been at it for 8 years and hasn't even started filming. At this point, a normal person would, I don't know, try to do something else. But not Terry Gilliam. He is going to fight the aforementioned windmill. By 1998, Gilliam finally has real momentum. He's got a $32 million budget, no American studio breathing down his neck, and a pretty good cast. Johnny Depp, fresh out of Fear and Loathing, as the lead. And for Don Quixote himself, a legendary French actor named Jean Rochefort was so committed to this role that he learned English specifically for it. Then, two filmmakers, Keith Fulton and Louis Pepe, are brought in to shoot a making-of documentary. A fun little behind-the-scenes thing. A celebratory document of a great film being born. But oh man, they were not prepared for what was to come. Production begins in September 2000 in the Bardenas Reales, a barren, beautiful desert in northern Spain. Perfect location, cinematic as fuck. Day 1. Fighter jets from a nearby NATO base keep flying overhead and completely fucking up the sound recording, making the sound guys lose their minds. Day 2 and 3. A flash flood that destroyed equipment washes away sets, and at one point Gilliam walks out into the storm, raises his fists at the sky, and just screams. He probably accepted his fate and started yelling at God about it. Then, on day 5, 70 years young Jean Rochefort, the actor who learned a whole new language for this film, can no longer ride a horse. He's in pain. It turns out he has a double herniated disc and he has to leave the production for surgery. Day 6, that's it. They shut it down. 6 days of filming. The insurance company won't cover it. The money evaporates, the whole thing collapses. What about those two documentary filmmakers? Well, they have hours of footage of a movie imploding in real time. They renamed their documentary Lost in La Mancha, released it in 2002, and it becomes a cult classic. The making of ends up outliving the movie it was supposed to document. Now that's a different kind of achievement. Now, maybe you are wondering, that's it, it's over. No, the curse continues. Between 2000 and 2016, Gilliam attempts to restart this film 8 separate times. Man, this guy was really determined to make this movie. And with each attempt comes a new cast. Johnny Depp is still attached, then he gets busy, then Depp loses interest, then he's out. Round 2. Robert Duvall as Quixote. Ewan McGregor as the lead. Sounds good, right? Funding collapses, Duvall and McGregor are out. Somewhere in here even Gerard Depardieu is considered. Same with Michael Palin, another Python. Round 3. John Hurt as Don Quixote, Jack O'Connell as the lead. I mean, why not? Gilliam releases concept art on Facebook. People are genuinely hyped. And then John Hurt is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He passed away in January 2017. Gilliam also lost another lead actor to tragedy. While he was making the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, Heath Ledger died mid-production. Boy, talk about bad luck. By 2016, Gilliam is 75 years old. He has been trying to make this movie for 27 years. He casts Adam Driver and Jonathan Pryce. He partners with a Portuguese producer named Paulo Branco, and filming finally starts in Spain and Portugal. That's it, the end. Or is it? Branco and Gilliam start clashing out on set almost immediately. Branco wants creative control and starts slashing the budget by cutting fees for cast members without telling Gilliam. What a douchebag. The entire relationship transforms into open warfare and Gilliam fires Branco. Or Branco leaves, depending on who you ask. Either way, he's gone. The movie gets finished, finally, after 30 years. Now Terry Gilliam has a completed cut of The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. And then it gets accepted as the closing night film at the 2018 Cannes Film Festival, the most prestigious film festival in the world wants to spotlight his film. And then Paolo Branco files a lawsuit. Days before the Cannes premiere, Branco shows up in a Paris courtroom claiming that he owns the right to the film and that Gilliam's finished version is, and I quote, illegal. He wants to stop the screening, he wants to watch the world burn. The festival organizers support Gilliam, and the artistic director basically tells Branco to go to hell. Meanwhile, I shit you not, Terry Gilliam suffers a stroke. So get this, your movie is being sued, it's the night before its premiere, and your heart decides to flip you off. Life can be cruel sometimes. Anyway, they clear the lawsuit, the Paris court dismisses Branco's injunction, the film is allowed to screen and Gilliam makes it to the festival. That's it, the end.
Or is it?
Amazon Studios, which had already signed a North American distribution deal, pulls out entirely. The movie that just screened at Cannes to close the whole festival cannot get a proper release in America. It eventually limps into US theaters for one night only, through a Phantom Events deal. One night after 30 years. The movie is actually pretty good. Critics gave it a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. Adam Driver and Jonathan Pryce are great. It's weird, messy, and very Gilliam. And honestly, it could not have been made by anyone else, which is exactly what he always said. Terry Gilliam spent 3 decades fighting a windmill, and just like Don Quixote himself, he refused to stop even when everyone around him was screaming that it was impossible. That's a different kind of madness. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Noroc, my friends.